In this tutorial, we will carry on completing the grid cell data using the Exodus preprocessor. So in the previous tutorial, we have set up regions of cells that we can use to modify the data. So save it in COU test3.dat, and in that tutorial we looked at using edit region numbers and select the grid areas to mark cells, regions of cells that we can use to modify the data. So we now try to complete the rest of the data. In the show available parameters, you can see that there are lots of parameters available, but typically the ones that we need to complete will be the ones in capitalized letters. So like for example, we need to have Y permeability, Z permeability, rock compressibility, initial datum depth, datum pressure, gas or contacts, and so on. So those are the necessary parameters that we need to enter in the model. We have entered X permeability already, and we can copy X permeability to Y permeability, or we can set a flag to indicate the Y is equal to Y is equal to X permeability. So let's do it both ways. Let's go and copy, for example, copy the one parameter to another parameter. So if we choose the option, we can say copy from the X permeability to the Y permeability. Copy and close, and we see that it's now added to the list here. If we do click on that and select the parameter to display, we click on this to display, we can see that what we have here is the windows. If you look open another map of the X permeability and rearrange the windows, we can see that we got X and Y permeability. We can choose to make this different. If you get anisotropic permeabilities, we can, if the X is not the same as Y, the regional trends, we can choose to make that say 450 for example, and apply to that range, and we can have a different permeability for Y as opposed to X. If however the Y is equal to X, then we should probably just kill this data set. Say no, I don't want to kill that, keep that. So under display, select parameter, we can use this. We can delete this first. If you want to delete, doesn't matter, we can delete that first. So delete selected parameter data, it's gone. Then we can set Y is equal to X, and let's come back to here. So now whatever we change in X is automatically reflected in Y. So we click on Y and try to display that. It says cannot edit, because the option to set Y is equal to X has been invoked over here. Until we unflag this option, then we can not, unless we unflag it, we will not be able to modify this Y permeability. Similarly for the Z permeability, if we can set Z permeability as a function of say 1/10 of the X permeability. If we did that, then we will see that the Z permeability is available. It's a new parameter, and we can locate display and edit. And again, we see that we cannot modify that because we had a flag specified in that option. So other ways to enter data would be using constant values by grid and constant values by layer, and these are quite easily understandable. We can also set grid values by Facies regions. So if we did that, we had Facies regions. These are our Facies regions. So we have different Facies regions. We have 1, 2, and 3 Facies regions. If we wanted to use those Facies regions to set up grid values, we can set that Facies regions, and then we would have for Facies region 1, 2, and 3, we will be able to enter for each Facies region the number of values that we can choose, and they can be different for each Facies region. So this is another form that we can enter. For example, if we choose to enter our rock compressed, our initial datum depth, for example, as example, 1000. In Facies region 2 as 2000, and Facies region 3 as 3000, for example. And then we can form set Facies grid values and close. Now if we go to the initial datum pressure, we can see that we have entered 1000, 2000, 3000, corresponding to our Facies regions. So these are ways to enter grid cell data based on facies regions, based on selected grid areas. So if I choose select the grid area, you can see that I have grid areas 1 and 2 that we can now modify, enter data for those areas based on selected operation parameters. And if we didn't choose these grid areas, then we can use these options for region by layer or selected cells for all cells in the model. So this is the final tutorial on how to set grid cell data in the preprocessor. Thank you for your attention.